So I call this looking for work. Before the internet, before the world we live in today, back in the day, to get a job, you usually had to take your portfolio, put it in your bag, put it in your backpack, your shoulder bag, and you would just go door to door, meeting art directors, creative directors, editors, photo editors, and you would just kind of try to get appointments whenever you could. Send out your promo cards, leave your promo cards. Sometimes I would just cold call people. Sometimes I would just take promo cards and take them to the magazines or the record labels and just leave them at the front desk. You did whatever you had to do to get a job. And I used to have, I've had every size and shape portfolio you can think of. I've had as big as 16 by 20s. I've had 11 by 14s. I've had everything in between, laminates, slides, you name it. My favorite portfolios for years, most of the years, was 9 by 12s. And I had 6 different portfolios. So I had a music portfolio, an entertainment portfolio, a celebrity portfolio, a portrait portfolio, a fashion portfolio. You had to have these different kinds of books because depending on the client that you would go see, you wouldn't show a music portfolio to a TV person or a TV portfolio to a fashion person. So you had to have different work for each type of client you wanted to work with. So I would carry these things around New York City in a backpack, and it's why I have a bad back to this day. Jumping in taxis and from one place to the next, from east to west and north to south, and just bouncing around. And in one given day, you'd see 5 to 10 people, 5 to 10 potential clients. And I loved it though, because in LA, you'd have to spend more time driving to a potential client than you would be seeing them. There you could see people. A lot of times, a lot of magazines or record labels were on the same block, so it made life a lot easier. And I would love to go there and, have these power lunches with all the clients. And, Rolling Stone was on 6th Avenue, and it was always great to run downstairs and get lunch and talk about what's next and what's coming up. And then, walking across the street and walking down the block, and there's another client or the record labels there. And you would just go from place to place, and you would turn around, and the biggest thing, my mind's going crazy here. The biggest thing I'm thinking about is the weight of my portfolios. I would always go see my chiropractor. After every trip to New York City, the last person I would see before I'd go to the airport was my chiropractor, just to get adjusted so that I wouldn't suffer the flight home. But those meetings were great. And I've said it before, but it was the honesty which was great too. Because if you sucked, they told you sucked. Or if your pictures sucked, they would tell you sucked. And it would make you work harder. No bullshit, straight to your face. But luckily, they never said that. I think if they told me I sucked, I would have gotten angry and would have fought back. But I remember New York City, the running around from place to place. And you got to understand, I never took the subway. I hated subways, so I'd always take the taxis. Or sometimes I'd rent a town car for the day and just have somebody drive me around. A lot of fun.